Hello, everyone. Are you ready for this excellent match of the Zero versus Hydra Power? We clearly have a StarCraft player in our midst today with Hydralisks. I'm sorry, that's a very old reference. I am Leno, joined today by Thoris. Hello, Thoris. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How do you know they're not just an enemy or shield?
You know what? I didn't think of that. I have failed.
I figured it'd be the more relevant thing considering the amount of Marvel that's going around these days.
That is a good point. Yes, that is a good point. I mean, StarCraft is very, very 1997. So yeah, that's a 23-year-old game.
And it's still one of the good ones.
Yes, it is. We should be starting in just a moment. We had a slight delay in starting, but we should be going in just a second. What kind of a seed are you hoping for today, Thoris?
Well, my last seed on Tuesday resulted in an hour and 17 minutes without any access to Super Metroid because the Morph Ball was locked away in Pendant Mire, and to get into Mire you had to do Pendant Pod to get the Pegasus boots, to get the Quake Medallion from King's Tomb. So hopefully nothing as obscure as that one was.
That sounds horrible. And I'm sure chat would love to have something just as disgusting and gross as that. But we as commentators, we're just going to be happy today. We're going to be happy with whatever we see. I'm just kidding. I still have a bitter taste in my mouth from the Easter Weekly. I raced in that one. I want these players to suffer. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, we as commentators have to remain unbiased at all times. So as long as everyone suffers equally, it's fine.
What we do want to see is a good race, and these two players today are going to bring a good race, and that is ultimately what we want to see. And here we go.
So who's going to do the important check of what's on the vanilla Morph Ball?
You know, with just one check in logic down there, the meta is just dive Link to the Past right away. I suspect that's what these players are going to do. There's no reason not to. And yep, looks like that's what they're going to do. Now, the new meta I've seen from Link to the Past is they will do Uncle first before doing CAC. We'll see if either of these two players do that.
I find that interesting. It's like usually the CAC play is most items that you can get.
Yep, and it looks like that's what these players are going to do. They're going straight for Uncle. This has been a relatively new meta. It started with, I think, Season 2 of the Randomizer League from Link to the Past. I'm not sure why this is the new meta. I'm sure there's a good reason for it, but I just don't quite get it yet.
Yeah, it feels like you should be coming up here at least with some form of weapon so that you can just go straight into the front of escape.
Mm-hmm. Oh my. That is a suit. That is a gravity suit. Uncle's holding on to the priceless artifacts.
Unfortunately, it does not do very much on its own. We still have to find that Morph Ball.
And power bombs. And maybe one or two other items for access into Meridia. But water movement is always a good thing. Oh, tree pole knowledge. Oh, and bombs for CAC. That makes sense. Although there is also a tree pole coming up here next to the Lumberjack Ledge. But that is my personal opinion. We'll see what these players do. Do they go straight for Lost Woods, or do they check Lumberjack? Sorry, go ahead.
I tend to stick with I'm still on the old start at Sanctuary, go to Houlihan, wake up in Link's house, and then just walk your way into the bottom of CAC. Get some bombs that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and the red roots on the bush crab. This is going to be worthwhile if they don't get bounced.
You're going to save up that money, get
Link.
some Zora.
Link Force, that is a good point. You can actually check all three tiers of the tree poles taking that route. I did not consider that. That is a really good point. Link Force in chat, bringing the knowledge.
So it's just $20 inside the lumberjack cave. So likelihood of the Aga play is now statistically reduced. Not entirely zero, because we may still need it for Dark World, but in this circumstance, it's not going to be a mandatory clear.
Right. Might still be Dark World access, might still be the Pyramid access. We don't know. We just gotta wait and see what the items do. Oh, and a bottle. That's a sick kid check right out. Gravity suit was on Uncle. And then just to prove Link Force's point, neither player pulls tier 1. So we don't know what tier 1 is. Unless those 10 sticks were tier 1 and we don't know tier 2 is. Either way.
We know it's bombs on one and arrows on another, so if you need to have a refill, it's a good place to start.
Having even single bombs on a tree pole is good, because that way players will have relative ease of access for refills if they need. And so far, Blind Hut is the ammo. Tier 1 is 10-6, so tier 2 is the unknown. I'm kind of wondering what our first initial progression item is going to be. We have gravity. We have seen a power bomb already. Oh, we have some Zora money now. Maybe it will be Morph Ball, and Meridia is the play.
So what do you like to see first in these kind of seeds?
Well, I do. We got the bottle. I wouldn't mind some kind of convenience item. Some kind of weapon as convenience, whether it's Samaria or bow or hammer. Just so it makes clearing out the South Shore line a lot easier. But Pegasus boots, flutes, I mean, anything. I mean, so far, CAC is coming up empty. Ammo and rupees, that's it.
Could the legendary CAC skip be on us again?
Wow. Let's see what this sick kick gives us. Oh, what are those? Oh, we have a full clear of CAC right away.
Yep, we can clear out the library and then we can go up and get the bonk rocks back at Sanctuary if we need to.
Yep. And other than the boots, CAC has been completely devoid of anything. Just ammo expansions and money. Oh, there's a glove on the library. Wow. Okay.
I think we spoke too soon on the CAC skip.
Yep. So it's not in logic, but they could go up to Death Mountain. They'd have to navigate a dark room. I don't think either player would have an issue with that. Okay, that looked like one crystal on Eastern, green pendant on Hera, and a red crystal at Deserts.
Yep, and the crystal at Eastern was one of our 5-6 combination.
Oh boy. And okay, Zero's not going to do the back of escape check. Looks like they're both going to do bonk rocks. I like this.
Yeah, do bonk rocks first and then do the back of escape. You can get out of bonk rocks. You can't really get out of the back of escape.
Spring Ball? We always like to see Spring Ball. Spring Ball is always 100% required. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
It is by far the best item in Super Metroid. That is no joke. It is 100% the best item, particularly for these randomizers. when you have a seed where it's like, hey, go to the Brinstar clear with 5 power bombs, and that's it.
Back into the nothing but a key. They could have gone to Dark Cross with that key, but they obviously chose not to. Let's see. Ace is gonna go. Okay, so Ace is gonna do South Shore. Let's see what Hydra does.
Yeah, going to Dark Cross from the back, they would have to try and kill that rat with the bombs, and that's pretty difficult to do, even when you can see what you're doing. So doing it in the dark is very difficult.
Indeed, yep. More power bombs. Wow, these players are going to have a lot of power bombs when they finally get to Super Metroid.
It's always helpful.
More fall bombs.
That Brinstar loop uses a lot. So if you don't have to farm them, it's even better.
Turbo Troy, I will link you the SpeedGaming schedule. And then we actually have a couple more matches coming up later today. That might be me. That sounds like a me. Oh, Moldworms have bombs in their drop packs. That's very...
8 bombs in the drop. You do not feel guilty of just throwing bombs at them now.
No. Moldworms gave our players a little more power bombs. Ooh, space jump. That is a can fly. And another bottle. Bomb capacity upgrade. Okay. It looks like our Super Metroid is actually going to be Meridia. We just need a Morph Ball to make that happen.
So
we also have all of
Morph Ball.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Speaking of
it. Nice. That's sub 11 Morph Ball. This is really fortuitous, but also this could also be a red herring. With so much of Super Metroid open, it is possible that both players... Oh, nice water walk set up by AceZer0 and Hydrapower. But with so much of Super Metroid open, that will obviously take him away from Link to the Past. We actually could not find that much in Super Metroid. We just might find 1 or 2 items at a time. And then have to go back to Link to the Past for more progression. It has the makings of a troll seed.
Yeah, it's some of the debate that our runners are always faced with is if you get early Morph Ball and you still have checks to do Link to the Past, when do you bail out of the Link to the Past checks and go do those Morph Ball checks?
Oh no! Hydra got knocked out of his fake flipper and had his S and Q. That was really unfortunate. He didn't even get to see what was on the ledge. Fortunately, it's just bombs, just blueberries. But he also loses out on the Zora item, which is typically a ripoff.
Hydra heading back to Super Metroid.
He will chase that more. And it looks like AceZer0 is going to do the very same.
So I think the only thing left in Link to the Past to check was really the Elder plus, well, Shashula's Closet plus Eastern Palace and Akina's Cave were the only ones left.
I think you're right. AceZer0 demonstrating that Space Jump without high jump boots is a terrible combination. Space Jump is a very broken accessory. I have words.
The worst I always find is always finding speed booster and never finding high jump boots.
Yes, that is also the worst. And well, it's not our scenario now because we haven't had speed booster yet. I was thinking of a different race for some reason, different seed. And Zero looks like he's going to do the gauntlet play.
And still needs to be careful because this acid damage is going to eat away his health very quickly.
Mm-hmm. He's already down to 20 souls dead. He does have to be very careful here. A spike hit will kill him. He has to be very careful. Oh, 19 health. Oh. Ooh. Took 5 from a Zebo. Wow, that was a little close there. A little close for comfort. Just gotta be careful with these pirates. Oh, and that is an ice beam. The gauntlet was worth it today.
Yep, definitely not required, but for dealing with those Metroids later on, definitely useful.
Billy Mays not really bringing much value, unfortunately. Just a full heart and some $20 rebate for your troubles.
Yeah, I didn't see much inside Retro Brinstar.
Energy tank at the Morph Ball pad and 20 to Rizzo. Blue Bryn had no value today, other than a swag net, I think.
The swag net was at the back of Terminator.
Oh, Terminator. Sorry. Oh, wrong player. AceZer0 gonna make the play to refill the health. I like this play. Oh, Hydra, what are you doing? You voluntarily picked up a reserve tank. It's okay.
Get those fake energy tanks out of here.
And more power bomb. And a heartbeat. So far, Brinstar has had nothing.
It is, of course, still early days for checking these Brinstar checks.
Mm-hmm. Well, we jinxed ourselves with the cack skip. Do we have a Bryn skip today? Vanilla Supers. Of course, we're not going to know if Bryn skip is a thing until we get Speed Booster because of Waterway. Alright, Hydra, look for the wave gate skip. This is not in logic, so whatever is back here will not be logical progression. On our current logic settings, you must have wave beam for this gate. And we find a swingy. We have a fighter sword.
Yeah, it's our first sword, but it is locked behind Speed Booster.
Oh yes, that is locked behind Speed Booster, so that is out of logic. Our players won't care what they find as long as they find something worthwhile.
Yeah, I imagine to most of our runners doing tricks like the mock ball is a pretty trivial thing for them, so it's not too much of a fuss for them to break that logic.
A second reserve tank at Big Pink. We're setting up for early energy. We get the mail upgrade at the Etikun. Oh, definitely. AceZer0, logic is just a suggestion. If he felt like it, he could just RBO the game without. We got the blue. For some players, this is the better boomerang. For some players, it is the red boomerang. But it is also a stun.
Yeah, stun prizes are indeed randomized as well.
Andy is in the tournament. I don't think he has a match. Okay, so other than the sword and the boomerang, we haven't really found much in Brinstar. And now we have a route divergence possible. Do we see one player go to wreck ship and another go down red tower? Do we see both players go wreck ship, or both players go down red tower, and then potentially to Death Mountain?
Yeah, it's a weird choice because Ace's route is go down through Brinstar, so Ace has the choice: does he climb red tower, or does he just go down red tower? Whereas Hydra's going to finish up at what is potentially the ship, so it would make more sense for Hydra to go straight to wreck ship.
It would, yep, it would. And I would also like to point out, both players that have in hand, they can now logically fight Ridley once they have access to Lord Norfair. That is one change with version 11. Ridley does not necessarily always require charge. Ammo has now been placed, well, not placed, but ammo is now a logical solution to killing Ridley. That players wouldn't have already done. Oh, Ace looks like he has the good set. He's got it.
I think that's a strange restriction that existed, because it's like there is only one check that's really locked by Ridley, and that is behind Ridley. So kind of
right.
Very, very low chance that charge ends up there anyway.
True. I think the only reason why charge was there in the first place as a requirement is because with Ridley, you have no chance to refill your ammo or your health or anything during the fight. It's just the fight. It's the same with Batoon. You could actually potentially soft lock and kill yourself during the fight without possibility of killing him. But now that ammo is in logic, we can see charge come up in a lot more places, including Ganon's Tower. He's disposing of the side operas. He's going to pick up his energy refill at the Master Sword, Master Sword. Morph Ball pedestal.
You can't really say wrong game, because technically they're both in this game.
Yep, true. while these two players going over each other's tracks, let's take a moment to say, please follow these runners. They're putting on a really good show. 96-player tournament, I believe. Very high turnout.
We have a jam-packed schedule for the next few days.
Yep. Also give my co-commentator Thoris a follow. He's a really good commentator, I hear. He's got a really good voice. Also give our tracker a follow today. Our today tracking is Sandrays316. Say hello to Sandrays.
And of course, don't forget to give Linus a follow as well. Don't forget yourself.
Hydra is going to make the... If he follows through, he will get his ice beam. I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely worth it being their first beam upgrade. It's like even just the base damage increase is always a benefit.
And one thing I would like to point out with the sword, if our players have any experience with navigating dark, the sword will make it infinitely easier to do those dark rooms because you can always hold your sword up and charge, and you always see the particles of your sword, so you can at least navigate in the dark with the sword, if that is something our players would want to do. Oh, and Ace is going to get some knowledge. He is scouting the Criteria Shaft Super. We will see if we need to come back later with Speed Booster. Just an energy tank. I don't think we're going to see our players come back for that. Well, Hydropower made an oopsie by falling down the left side, but did end up falling down the correct side. See, he will not have to come back through the gauntlet. He'll be very relieved about that. That had potential for massive time loss there.
I think that happened the other day as well. Someone fell down the right-hand side. It just so happened that that was the correct side.
Wow. Oh, Hydra did check? Oh, thank you, Sandrays. See, our tracker's on top of things today. So, not an oopsie. That was calculated. I completely forgot that Hydra checked that.
When it's an accident.
Yep. Alright, both players saving at the ship. They're both going to go right. Hydra's going to make the landing site check, but then either to moat or down Red Tower. That is the question.
I mean, clearing wreck ship's not a bad idea. The only thing you can't get is the speed booster locked item. It's a lot of checks, and it gets a boss out of the way very quickly.
Hydra being fully aware of the acid drain without the VAR, being very careful to not lose too much health.
Yeah, especially with Hydra saving beforehand, you don't want to have to go back down to the ship and refill for another time after that.
Ace is going to scout 20 rupees up top. Going to get the lake missile check. Oh, and there's our charge beam. Charge ice. also known as 1/3 of the way to microwave. And Hydra with the route diversions is going to go down Red Tower. I'd have to think there's at least one progression item here in Rex Ship, with Brinstar having nothing, and really Criteria having what was it? Just Criteria had Charge Beam and Ice Beam. I'd have to think there is at least one progression item here in Rex Ship, and that is the 3rd reserve tank already.
Yeah, I think the choice between here is Rex Ship or Meridia, and I've got to admit, very early gravity suit usually points to Meridia.
It does, and there are a lot of checks in Meridia, and there are some out-of-logic checks with Ice Beam that they could do if our players chose to.
That also involves our friendly neighborhood shack too.
Aero capacity at Alpha Power Bombs, and there is our very convenient high jump boots. That is a nice find. Never required, but always wanted. He's setting up the top. Didn't look like he got too many on that round though. Easy for me to say. It's nice fighting Phantom with gravity suit though, because the flames only do 10 damage instead of 4. So even if you had 0 energy tanks, so it's not that bad of a fight. Down goes the ghost. Phantoon is not guaranteed to drop a power bomb in Rando, especially if you're in health bomb range. So if you use your last power bomb going in, you could potentially soft lock yourself and not be able to get out.
That'd be hard because then you have to do the fight again.
Yep, and it looks like he dropped 7 power bombs there just to prove me wrong. It's like he knew.
It would be no fun of being a commentator if the game didn't like to prove you wrong every time it could.
Commentator's blessing? Definitely not a commentator's curse. That. Heart piece. So far, Rex Ship, nothing. That's only 2 checks. Still got a few more to go. Welcome energy tank at the crate. And that is our 3rd bottle. Zero gonna pass that up. He already has, I think he has 2. Feels pretty comfortable with that. Even if he only had 1, probably feels comfortable with that.
Taking a quick safety save before going to the E-tank. We'll see if Hydra takes Crate to the prom.
Yep, prom time. We have a dance. Crate's face and claws are proving to be good obstacles, and just a missile at the Rex Ship energy tank.
Yeah, that claw really got in Hydra's way.
maybe some frustration armor that looked like to be a little bit of a trigger there for the fight. And just 20 rupees as a reward. Ouch.
We do, of course, still have the energy tank to check on the way out.
This is true, and this is really starting to point our players to Meridia. Wreck Ship so far has had nothing. Brinstar, almost all of Brinstar has had nothing. And Brinstar is a very big area in the game. Now, of course, as a runner, you never want to see a lot of progressive items in Meridia just because Meridia is so vast, but the item density is low. So you end up going to a lot of areas that are basically one-off checks. And just blueberries at the attic. He's very wisely going to scout the Wreck Ship Reserve, see if he has to come. Just a heart. So far, 2 speed locations are garbage. They're healthy, but they're garbage. Sorry, go ahead. You're about to say something.
I was about to say something along the same lines, just a full heart container, so we don't need to come back to Wreck Ship once we find that speed booster.
Hydra using that sword to great effectiveness to navigate the dark. One of the easier dark rooms in the game.
Definitely one of the most useful to get, because even just getting that save and quit point, great access to Upper Norfair if you need to reset for any particular reason.
Right, and the longer you don't have flute, the longer this becomes more valuable. It's just a great play to make. Being the old man, just give him 20 bucks. Oh boy, magic powder. For all that trouble, we get a fetch quest, which we can't turn in yet because we don't have hammer.
Definitely a bit of safety though, because it means you can play just a little bit more recklessly on Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm. And we got a Spazer for our trouble, so we have Charge Ice Spazer as our beam.
And Hydra finding Grapple Beam inside Spectral Rock, so again, more things that point towards Meridia.
And not only Meridia, to your point earlier, that does open up Shack Tool in Meridia. I'm wondering if Hydra has that in mind.
Yeah, with all the checks we've seen of Super Metroid, we may actually get to what you were letting on to earlier, where Morph Ball and Gravity Suit being a big massive bait, because there has been nothing of proper progression yet.
The only useful items, I mean, we found the Charge Beam, which is extremely useful, and we found the first sword. That's it. That's all we found. We don't even have Aghanim access yet, so we can't, we don't have any sort of Dark World access. Don't have Moon Pearl. That's true. We do have high jump boost. It's the best quality of life item in the game. And Zero is about. I think. Were they here?
Yep, they were here. Yeah, and Hydra's taking that bait from the grapple beam and going straight to Rick's ship. Pick up the charge beam along the way.
He is going to be disappointed to only find the magic powder back here. So coming up on the 39-minute mark, no one's really ahead at this point. They're still just covering each other's tracks. I think Zero is probably going to die of Meridia after he checks Death Mountain. This X-ray is a check that Hydra did not make, so new information at least. Zero, you have Spring Ball. There you go. And just an energy tank, but he's going to pick it up because he's only got 2.
Yep, never turned down an energy tank.
Well, if Hydra does decide to full clear X ship, and I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen, he's going to get his magic power and he's going to get his SpeedRun out of it. SpeedRun will be nice just because of the added damage. I mean, with just Ice Beam really doesn't give you that much damage. SpeedRun actually does do a decent damage boost for beginning game. It quickly becomes overshadowed with Wave and Plasma, but it's very helpful beam.
Yeah, it's always helpful to find it early because the earlier you find it, the more value it has, or unless you find Plasma very early, in which case it's completely redundant. But...
Exactly, yep. Uh-oh, Ms. Metroids. Oh, and Bantoon is just about dead. There we go. Ghost. AceZero's coming up on crate. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, using the super missile to finish off Fantoon, there's like, you want to be very careful with that final super missile because if it doesn't kill him, you're gonna enrage him.
Yep.
It's just a huge time sink.
Huge time sink, and it's 8 waves of flames that are relatively hard to avoid. It is possible if you know what you're doing, but you can take a lot of damage and potentially die if you don't kill him with the supers.
Yeah, I think the big bonus they have is finding Screw Attack beforehand is like, that helps you dodge those flames during the waves, but it's still a lot of time to lose.
Oh, he set up for it. Oh, he just missed it. He just missed a quick kill. Oh, we have a second dance.
Yep, 2 for 2 on prom dances tonight.
Oh, that was so close. I thought he had it. AceZer0 showing the skill, but denied by Frame.
I still think the Create Quick Kill is one of the hardest tricks to do in Super Metroid.
There is an easy setup with Charge Beam, and he had Charge Beam, could have used it, maybe he forgot about it, or possibly he's not aware. But if you do like the 2 missile setup, that can be a lot harder because you can't freeze Kraid's Claw with that. With Charge Beam, you can just freeze Kraid's Claw in place because this game.
Hydra's proving why we call that the speaker room of death.
Ouch. Ouch.
It's one of the reasons why we always take a safety save before going that way is, if it's not important, just reset. Trying to get back through that room is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Yep, in a kind of a blink you miss it moment, he took 300 damage from the spikes. Now, Gravity Suit, as a reminder, Gravity Suit provides 0 elemental protection by itself. It's only the Varia Suit that will reduce damage from the environment.
Yeah, it was changed that way to make the Varia Suit not completely redundant. Because I believe in the original, the Gravity Suit gives you pretty much what the Varia Suit gives you as well.
Yes, it does. It is so over. AceZer0 Scout Rock Escape. Probably won't be getting that. Now, does AceZer0, does he scout Marit or Norfair? He's gonna do it. This is an out of logic check. But if this were hard/tournament, you need 3 energy tanks to scout the ice beam logically.
Yep, and the bubble mountain checks are 5 energy tanks total, wasn't it?
Yes. And with his reserves, he does have enough to get there. I mean, with Space Jump, with Space Jump, it makes it so easy. I don't think he took a safety save before doing this, though, so we'll see what he does. Oh boy, Matt. All right, so that cape is out of logic, but that is 1 step closer to the agony. You just need a lamp. Zero. Oh, Zero's rescuing old man. He didn't do this yet.
Yeah, he's doing the Death Mountain checks. We'll find the grapple beam, and maybe we might be off to Meridia at that point.
If he felt strongly about sequence breaking more of Norfair, he could opt to do that, but that... You know, I don't think that'd be a good idea. Not at this juncture. It would be worth it if more of the Dark World Axis items came into play, like the Moon Pearl or Glove and a Hammer.
Yeah, one of the unique things about the crossover, you can flip to Meyer without the Moon Pearl, and use that to get into Lower Norfair.
Mhm.
It's like
Alright,
you do not
Ace-
need the manpower to open doors.
Yep, and because of that, you do not need the Titan's mitts to check Checkerboard Cave. You just need Lower Norfair access, along with one glove and a mirror. And as soon as their players get Varia's suit, they do have Lower Norfair access. They have everything else they need to get down there. Oh, AceZer0 has got the swag. He fell. Sorry. Feels bad. He tried to hover. I suspect to use the portal and go back to Norfair.
Why does everyone hover nowadays? Is it Andy made
I
it
don't
look kill,
know.
and now everyone just copies them, and now it's just not kill anymore because everyone can do it?
Yep.
Ace is climbing. It makes it look like he's going to Meridia.
Alright, this would be at least one progression item here and the front half of Meridia. So that's Mama Turtle, 2 items there. Watering Hole is 3 items, and then the Crab's Super. So
And
that's
saying that,
what,
though,
8
we still haven't seen Trashlo's closet, so this could all just be a wild goose chase and it's all set in.
It very well could be, yeah. I mean, Sahasra, yeah, that is a good point. And I think Hydra is reading your mind and might be making that Eastern Sahasrahla play. He is not going to Meridia.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone front of Escape, actually.
Oh,
We
yes,
haven't seen
that's
this
true.
either.
We have not seen it. Yeah, we haven't seen that, yeah. This is going to be huge. If AceZer0 finds nothing in the front half of this is... It means that they abandoned a check 50 minutes ago and could have done this for a while. Just a heart and some blueberries. That Mama Turtle. Oh, and there's screw attack.
That would
Okay.
definitely have helped, yep. It's not mandatory, but it would definitely have helped.
That actually would have gotten us into Brinstar early, and because of the bait that had nothing, that would have been a really bad play. Wow. Screw attack is a great convenience item, though. Always want that.
Yeah, combine it with Space Jump, you have Gauntlet, which is just free at that point. Ace wouldn't have had an issue. Oh, there's both mitts and Moon Pearl.
Wow. Titan's mitts. Well, the second, A glove in Zelda's dungeon. Moon Pearl. So we have logical Dark World access. It is just the Village of Outcasts area at this point. So Aghanim not dead yet. Alright, we're going to see if AceZer0 decides to check the sand pits and goes after Shaq.
We have, of course, found both the map and the key now, so that implies there is an item hiding in Dark Cross.
Mm-hmm. And I think Hydrapower, suspecting that, is tanking the death on purpose and is going to scout it.
Yep, again, using good use of that sword to clear out some dark rooms.
AceZer0, I suspect, will do a safety save here at Aqueduct. AceZer0 is going to scout the first of the 2 Aqueduct items. Okay, he is going to try and snail clip. I probably would have taken the safety save first because there's always a possibility of a soft lock, but he pulls it off no problem. Just money. Oh, it took a hit from a snail. Those snails still do 50 damage.
I'm going to say that was the
So that is Ice Palace access.
Yeah, we don't have our flippers, but we can always fake flipper over there.
True. That is also King's Tomb, which is where Hydra appears to be going.
Yeah, we do have our important question though, as we haven't seen Dark World map yet, so we don't know if Mire or Turtle Rock is required.
True. And there's only one pendant left in play, and that is in Dark World.
Time to make a joke about how even the king knows that the red one is the superior boomerang, and hence he buried it in his tomb. Oh, Ace is doing it. Ace is about to visit our friendly neighborhood shack too.
Given the items available and what is still out there, I like this. Shack Tool is such a time sink that you normally never want to make this play. But we also still have the dream of Aga Shack Tool Ped. I'm sure chat would love to see all three be. And Hydra's making the play. He's going to get his move. He will likely be the first with Dark World access.
Yeah, so we'll give him access to Dark World through the Village of Outcast areas, so likely see what Skullwoods and Thievestown have to offer first.
Just a heart piece. Oh no! Shack Tool not required. Sorry, everyone. We tried. We tried so hard.
Yep, your seat is in another castle, I'm afraid. I find it strange that Hydra went and cleared out some of the Sphere Zero checks, but not all of them.
Yeah, being so close to where he was, I would have just done the Sahasrahla, at minimum the Sahasrahla play. But since he knows it's a crystal and it's a 5/6 crystal, the meta with that has been to not do Eastern until you can are able to clear it with bow. I gotta think that's in his that's his thought process. Okay, Ace is gonna make the play. He's gonna turn on his Ice Beam, break logic, and go to Shack Tool. He's gonna see what the energy tank item is, and potentially.
Yep, so Hydra now has his Dark World access. Question whether or not how quickly he goes back to check that Dark World.
One more. Oh, AceZer0 see health and wants to get some of that for safety. I don't blame him. That's a good call. Just a missile. Okay. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. With that Moon Pearl, it's out of logic, but he does have Dark World access through the portal. He could scout Pod and Pyramid from here, and that might actually be what he's doing, but he's farming up health, so he might do Dragon first.
Yeah, another one of the strange routes that can be now done because you've got these cross-game portals where you can bypass the Agan and Dark World by simply having Meridia access. and vice versa. You can get to the back end of Meridia without the need to go through the front of it, purely just by using the flippers in the Dark World.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, he does not have flippers, so he'd have to set up a fake flipper to get to Pod. But he is obviously skilled enough to do that. We'll see if what he chooses to do after Dragon. Now, Hydra did not check Shack Tool after that right sandpit. Don't think he's going to make the play after left sandpit. He might just bail out and go to Village of Outcasts. AceZer0 using the supers. Feed the belly of the shrimp. With only charge AceZer0. He had it and he let it go. He didn't think he had it. You're gonna finish him off with a grapple kill. Oh, had it again. He didn't think he did. Now he has to angle down to try and reach that grapple point.
So near and yet so far, because he was looking awfully red.
Yep. Now he's dead. And hydropower does look like it's going to be a Village of Outcasts starting at Sang. We're going to see what our Dark World looks like. And just a missile for the trouble for killing Dragon. Yeah, Super Metroid is devoid of almost anything. One sword, charge beam, moon pearl. And that's been it.
Yeah, we're an hour in and we've got 3 of our 4 bosses killed in Super Metroid. It's starting to look like the reverse of Tuesday's match, where we were an hour in and had 4 dungeons and Link to the Past cleared.
Alright, the other 5-6 is at Turtle Rock, and the blue pendant is at Skullwoods. And it looks like AceZer0 is going to do the fake flipper to get the pop from the portal. Well, at least we know with the crystal setups, Bow, Fire Rod, and Ice Rod won't be at Pyramid Fairy. Let me see here. We know Fire Rod won't be on Pet.
Yeah, it looks really beneficial for someone looking for a ped seed, because those 3 pendant dungeons are very easy to clear and do not have a lot of restrictions around them.
Oh, AceZer0's got to be careful. Oh, yeah, get on. Oh, but now that he got on the line, he has to try. I don't know if he can save that.
Although our first item in Thieves Town is the red mail.
So because of the enemy placement, needs to take advantage of the fake flipper to pod. But now might be doing this our Hospital play that we haven't seen yet. Oh yes, this seed has been very open and also very empty. We found almost nothing in the hour plus we've been playing this so far.
Yeah, our gravity suit, our morph ball, pretty much some beams and some ammo, but nothing massively progressive in any form. So most of our stuff has been in Link to the Past.
Hydra. Oh, looks like Hydra just scouted the first 4 items and then decided to nope out. Did not want to deal with the back end of Thieves Town. I've noticed that's a thing that people have been doing in the Season 2 Link to the Past randomizer and the tournament. And obviously, without Hammer, you'd have to double dip it anyway, so we'll see if this is a factor later.
Yeah, it usually plays into just how many items you find, because there is only 4 items in Thieves Town, and one of the first one has to be 2. So at most you've left 1 item behind.
Yep. And we know we found the red mail. I don't remember if we saw a small key or not, so that could have been 2 dungeon items right off the bat, so we know that the chances are decent that there might be an item in the big chest. There was a small key. Okay. Also, we want to welcome in a new audience, those from SpeedGaming 4. Hello. I'm Joe Buck, joined today by Troy Aikman. How you guys doing today? Got the Raiders Packers going on? No.
It's not that kind of raid.
I'm sorry, Sandres. I'm sorry.
So yeah, early small key in Thieves Town definitely leads to there's an item in the big chest, so possibly just saving it for the hammer.
Alright, so we're going to do a quick recap here. For those just joining us from SpeedGaming 4, and if you're just tuning in, Super Metroid has had all of nothing. We found 1 charge beam, 1 sword, and the Moon Pearl. We've had open access to 3/4 of the game.
Speaking of hammer, it's in the hype cave.
Oh, and there's bombs and more missiles. That's a pretty decent hype cave. I like that hype cave.
That's got a solid 6 out of 10 from me.
And that 100% kills Aghanim as a play. Aghanim is completely dead. We will not see him this seed.
Aghanim spends all that time in his tower, breaking all the seals, and we leave him to them. Don't even pay him a visit.
The second glove was in Zelda's dungeon, which we've had access to for quite a while, but Hydrapower just got that fairly recently, within the last 15 minutes. And AceZer0 finally making a play. Turns out not really much in Eastern Palace or Sahasrara. So that is not really a huge advantage for either player.
Hydra's about to find out if that powder from Wreck Ship was worth it. Oh, it's definitely not.
Ooh. Ooh. However, he can rest comfortably now that his run has been double validated.
The lamp is on a desert ledge?
Oh, we have not. Huh. Okay. I guess that's our first time seeing this location.
Yeah, Guinness Cave's one of these out-of-the-way places, and ideally you want to have either the boots or the flute when you go to check it, just to speed it up.
Yep, and that is a good point, Sandres. That is the second time this week we've seen a lamp on the desert ledge. And now, just to go back to that point, now that Hydropower has Hammer, he feels no issues going back into Thieves Town and then full clearing the back end of it.
It's one of these fairly annoying circumstances where to get the hammer you have to use like one of the obscure portals to the Dark World and then walk all the way to Hype Cave for it.
AceZer0 now going into Zelda's dungeon will finally get his Titansmith. He will have Dark World access. We'll see if there's a bit of a reaction from him.
Yeah, it's like the moment where you start to feel behind.
I mean, considering Zelda's dungeon is technically Sphere 0, I mean, you have access to it from the beginning. If you're an hour plus in and you're only just now getting to it, I would personally feel behind too.
It's just the rare circumstances where Super Metroid just looked too good with all the early checks we got.
Yep, it was just too enticing with that gravity suit and that morph ball. Question now, does AceZer0 tank a death? Looks like he's setting up to tank a death. He's going to get his Bombo's medallion from Darkross. Oh, and that is the Various suit at the maiden's chest.
Definitely worth to come back into Thieves Town.
Yep.
Definitely not worth waiting for the hammer.
Alright, so my question to you, now that you have the rest of Super Metroid open, now keep in mind, we've seen nothing in Super Metroid. Do we go to Lower Norfair, see what Ridley has, and see what Lower Norfair has, which at this point could still be nothing? Does that entice you?
Give me the red cane and maybe that lamp off the desert ledge, or even the mirror. Yeah, that would definitely be enticing because you could just clear Mire while you're there.
That is a good point. That is a really good point. Hydra keeping on script with Blind. Blind, the first time you always fight Blind, it's a very set script, and if you know the script, you can just kill him immediately, and you get a hookshot for your trouble. Thieves Town was loaded.
Yep, Thieves Town definitely play gives you access to Dark Death Mountain, well, the Eastern Death Mountain, which is also Dark Death Mountain, which is also Hookshot Cave. That is a lot of checks, especially because you can also get up the Tower of Hair as well.
Mm-hmm. That would be more enticing of a play than going anywhere else in the Dark World at the moment. I still would not touch Pod at this point, but that is my personal opinion. Oh my. And then the bow. Well now.
Your Village of Outcasts and Thieves Town all paying off this time.
AceZer0 is going to be very happy to see those items. Oh, AceZer0 is going to die. Okay. Hoping one or both items appears in the front end.
Yeah, I think a lot of people decide that Skullwoods is essentially just overall checks for the Dark World and just always tend to play it regardless if it's a dungeon, if it's a pendant or a crystal.
And then Hydrapower getting the Ice Rod out of Jeremiah's chest. That is something we will not have to search for later. Knowing that Turtle Rock is a crystal, and a red crystal.
Yeah, we're also getting the information that the lamp is sitting on the desert ledge, so we know either getting to Lower Norfair and getting the mirror, or simply finding the book has got to be pretty much on the top of the list now.
Yeah, and within the last 5 minutes with all the items we found in Village of Outcasts, we were actually very close to go mode. We need Cane of Samaria, a fire rod, mirror and flute or book, and flippers, and potentially 1 or 2 more medallions. That's it.
Yeah, we'd need another sword to actually deal some damage to Ganon.
Yep, that's true, and 1 more sword.
Although these are the seeds you get to, and it's like all 3 swords are in Ganon's tower.
Hydra is going to play the numbers and hope Norfair has something. Might route in Lower Norfair. We'll see. And AceZer0 is taking a Gibdo for a ride. Alright, that was 1 item. I didn't see if there was another... Wait, was there another in the front end of Skull? I didn't catch it.
I've only seen him get the big key. I never saw if he picked up another item or not.
Oh, and there's another fetch quest. We have our... AceZer0 does have that cape and could have grabbed that, but since it's just a heart container, he's not going to worry about it.
Yep, and he'll soon have access to his red mail once he enters Thieves' Town, so definitely be glad to have skipped it.
Well, at the hour 16 mark, I think we can safely say Hydropower has an advantage. It's not a definitive lead yet, but there is a definite advantage with Hydropower's position right now. However, that can quickly evaporate depending on where AceZer0 goes and if Norfair has anything.
Yep, there's one thing to never do in these races is to say that someone has a lead, because it can change so quickly and so swiftly that you can blink and miss what happened.
Alright, so AceZer0 is gonna dive Thieves' Town, already has that red mail. We'll see if he follows suit and nopes out after the first 4. Okay, it was 2 items on the first hero capacity, and Ace is. We know this is the right play. He's going to keep going, and he's going to finish.
Yep, he's going to make the gamble, and he's going to find that Vadia suit lurking in the basement.
And where is Hydropower? Going back through Cathedral. choosing not to do Crocomire or rest of Upper Norfair. I am curious about this play.
Yeah, he may be deciding to just head back and clear out those dark world checks on the mountain.
Could be. We do have access to Croc. With Power Bombs and Morph Ball and Varia Suit, we do have access to Croc. Or even just regular bombs. If I had to guess, I would say Hydra is realizing that Super Metroid has had basically nothing and is just hedging his bets that it will continue to have nothing. Link to the Past will have all the progression.
Yeah, I think with item density as well, the East Death Mountain and the Dark Death Mountain is just it's too good a play to not take, because you've got 7 items in Paradox Cave, you've got 1 from Spiral Cave, you've got 2 in Hera, 3 now if you count the fact that it's a green pendant, and then you've got Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny Cave to check as well.
AceZer0 has his Varia Suit. We have Flippers so far in Paradox.
And that fully opens up the Ice Palace for them.
Uh-oh. Hold on. He either did not realize or possibly forgot that Mold Arms have bombs in their drop. We have Wave Beam, 2 energy tanks, and some supers. So just Flippers were just a progression. Although that Wave Beam now puts the Wave Game. I forget what was there in progression. It wasn't important though. AceZer0 now has his Hookshot, a full clear crystal, and now knows that it's just a compass in the big chest. He knows he does not have to come back.
Blocked by that dead rock. Can still see the bottom of the item though.
Oh, I think Hydra was going to see what the Turtle Rock medallion might have been. He doesn't have a mirror yet, so he might do that afterward.
Yeah, he has the choice to go to Hera. It's not as appealing because it has only 2 items and it's a pendant. Versus he's going into Dark World, finding out what the Turtle Rock medallion is.
I think if you dive Hell and then you do Super Bunny Cave after that, because then that you can wrap in Hookshot Cave as well, so you get 8 total checks out of it instead of the 6. If you don't do Tower of Hera. Although that's a good point by chat. Hera is a green pendant, so there's a 3rd overall item. And looks like for now we're gonna avoid. We're gonna see what medallion we need for Turtle Rock. Ether. So we know we need 1 medallion.
Yep, we're sure this where we could see what the one is from Meyer, but it involve a lower Norfair play.
And I think to your point, until they have Kane Samaria, they probably thinking they want to keep that out for now. Or at least in the back of their mind.
Yeah, you don't want to go all the way through Lower Norfair, get to Meyer, find out you can open it but not clear it, and then find out something like the float's locked somewhere really obscure. Because then your only way to get to Meyer is to go all the way back down through the Lower Norfair again.
Alright, AceZer0 did not do Jeremiah, so he will not pick up his Ice Rod yet. He is going to see 300 on the pyramid, not pick that up. And we'll now check the very out of the way catfish. At least I hope so. We have not seen catfish yet. Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave had all of. Is he gonna do the Ice Palace play? Is Hydra doing it? No,
Let me
looks
just
like
check
he's doing
Hobo
Hobo
first.
Oh, unfortunately, Catfish today did not have the goods.
It's so bizarre to see a
Oh,
CP race
okay,
like we. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say Hydra now with the flippers is gonna make the play to check Zora, which we already know is a scam. That's really unfortunate, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, for all the items we have, we still logically can't clear a lot of anything because most things are locked by the lamp, which is sitting on Desert Ledge, and we have no access to that yet.
Right. We need a flute and a mirror, or, well, I mean, they either a flute and a mirror, or just a mirror. Our players would obviously want the flute and mirror combination because they don't want to have to dive lower Norfair just to get to that lamp, which right now is our only available fire source. And now that I mention that, I wonder if Hydropower had that in mind and chose not to dive Hera for that reason. With an item potentially in the basement, maybe that's why he didn't go in. Or yes, or a book. AceZer0 is going to say to heck with that, we're going into Hera. There are only 2 items in Hera. And with Hookshot, I wonder if we see Hera Pot today. Oh, that big key, even if he did Hera Pot, it's not a gamble. It looks like we are going to see Hera Pot. No problem. I need to learn the setup for this.
So easy.
He does. Now Hydropower is going to make Sarhasrala play, and we got silver arrows in the big chest. And Hera, wow.
It's not required, but it's definitely nice to have.
I mean, if the only sword they find is Master Sword, those silver arrows are going to be so good later on. Because really, whoever wants to do whoever wants to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon willingly, besides low percent runners.
Oh, he takes a fall from the troll.
Oh, Solsky. We love you. Ooh. Molborm is not playing nice. And just a key, so I believe there is one more item in the basement. think. I didn't. We saw a map, and we saw a big key in that first chest. Silver arrows. What was in that small chest underneath the big chest? Was that the compass, or was that the second item?
It was the compass.
Yeah,
I don't remember either.
So he is potentially abandoning something huge in Tower of Hera. I don't agree with this. This might come back to bite him later, but we'll see what happens.
We don't have a fire source, so we can't even open it. Our only fire source is locked away.
That is a good point. I completely forgot about that. There is no fire source. He didn't abandon it. He can't get it. So I take back what I said. He did the smart.
There's nothing worse than into the cutscene and then being like, "Oh, I can't light the torches." Dang, that's so much time wasted.
Hydrapower, backtracking through AceZer0 steps earlier, is going to find nothing in Eastern, unfortunately, but he does have bow, so he will get a crystal out of it. He will get a red crystal out of it.
So, can't remember. Did we see all the items inside Eastern?
I believe Landmo has one, because this chest right here is the big key that Hydra's about to pick up. I want to say Armos had an item. Now, and I'm just speculating a huge if Armos has the fire rod, actually, I'm not even gonna. I have nowhere to go with that anyway, because fire rod has no special purpose in this logic, because fire rod had it. Fire Rod was introduced as a logical dark source item in V30, I think, or maybe it was V31. And we're still on V29 here.
Yeah, it was added in as part of their new advanced item placement logic, and which you can switch between basic and advanced.
Yep.
The only thing I would say was, yeah, we can get to the back of Skull Woods, but it's also a pendant, so do you really want to be able to do that?
Yep. Yeah, they probably don't. And also, hello to everyone from SpeedGaming 3. Welcome. The seed has been linear garbage so far. Super Metroid has had a lot of nothing. And we've had 3/4 access of it for quite a long time. We just recently found Various Suit. That was in Thieves Town.
One of those armors got loose.
Yeah, Hydra lost the kill setup, but still got it and got a heart tank out of it. Heart container. Now
Ace
has
just
10
took
hearts
a dead rock into Norfair. That was quite interesting to see.
How do you pull that off?
Just hook shotted him into the door and just kept pushing him.
Alright, I'm curious. Does AceZer0 do the full Upper Norfair clear? Potentially dive Lower Norfair? I mean, Lower Norfair is doable, but I have to think it's not enticing yet, just because of the potential to have to wrap in Mire, which you've brought up a couple times now. I think they save Lower Norfair. At least for now. Bow was in Hammerpeg, and Ice Rod was on Jeremiah's chest.
Yeah, I think the added thing of Super Metroid being completely barren for the first 3 zones is like, what's going to make Lower Norfair any different?
Exactly. I have to think that's playing into the player's mind. we've had 3 items to speak of that are worth anything in Super Metroid. That was the first sword, the Moon Pearl, and the Charge Beam. That's it. Well, I mean, Ice Beam too, I suppose, but Ice Beam is just a convenience item. I suppose High Jump is also a convenience item, but no real progression has been in Super Metroid other than the sword.
That sword is actually still of use though, because we haven't found an upgrade yet.
It's true. This is true.
We found so many items, but also found so much of nothing.
And Hydra not going to go right side right away. Potentially a calculated gamble on item placement. Oh, I know what he's doing. When he goes down to the Stalfos chest, he'll wrap in right side then. Okay, that's what he's doing. That is a route I've only seen a couple like that. It's easily forgotten.
See, I don't mind that play, but it feels like it needs 2 small keys to work. Versus going right side where you don't have to worry about that sort of key problem.
That is a good point. You kind of need the key logic to work in your... And AceZer0 is gonna bet on... Oh no. Not gonna bet on Croc. We are gonna bet on Lower Norfair.
Hydra, meanwhile, finding the key to the front door of Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, we still need that red cane before we can see any of it, though.
Pod having some worth, but is a required dungeon, so it's not to be unexpected, I guess. And then AceZer0, if he does not find Waveby down here, chat pointing out, thank you, Sandrace, our tracker, pointing out that we have Charge Ice Wave Spazer for the Ridley fight, which is 300 damage per charge shot. Same as a Super Missile. Except in Ridley's case, Super Missiles do double damage, so it's not worth using Charge Ice Wave Spazer.
Yep, you really do need that full Crispy Wave combo to make it worth your while.
Mm-hmm. The Smith chain is almost abandoned by Ace, just because they're a little bit out of the way at this point. However, there are 2 very required items on that chain, and he absolutely has to get there. Oh, and there's our second microwave item, the X-ray scope. If this is plasma, okay. I was gonna say he was gonna be a little upset if that was plasma beam.
You're one of these circumstances where I was like, yeah, here's microwave, but you've already killed all the bosses. It's actually useful again, so yep. Yay, good meme.
And AceZer0 strategically firing off all the missiles. If you have more than 30 missiles, Golden Chorizo, as you can see, will use some arc ray attack. But when you have 30 or less, then he will just shoot eggs, which you can use to refill your super missiles easily.
Yep, you're deciding to go into lower Norfair after this. Those super missiles are going to be very useful.
Yep. Hydropower navigating his dark maze didn't find much of value. Is now trying to get out. Probably will work to kill Helmsar.
Yeah, we'll give him another crystal on the board. There is a mandatory dungeon, so you may as well do it while you're here.
Oh, but now he is one hit away from death. He's not setting up a death warp, so he's got to be a little bit careful here. He does have a fairy in a bottle, so even if he does tank a death, that's another good point by chat. He'll just still be in the dark.
Yep, always the worst sensation of trying to death warp and then having a fairy in the bottle.
Oh, and he's trying to... No, his fairy found him anyway. No. That is unfortunate. And we see Bombos is the required medallion for Misery Mire. So we have all of our required medallions.
Yep, so let's hope the key is in Mire Shed, or at least in the front part of Mire.
Well, it's red. Okay.
Yep, finding the red cane if you're good at the dark rooms, or you'll even find a mirror. It'll be a well, not mirror, but the flute would be a massive benefit to him.
Oh, he is gonna do. There are only 2 items in Misery Mire. I don't know if he's banking on Canis Amaria to be in its own dungeon, but this is huge if he finds progression in here.
I think it is worth the risk with the travel time to get down here, just in case there's one of these rare circumstances where flute is inside Mire.
So of our items that are remaining, I think, and chat pointed this out too, that maybe Mirror is in here. If progression is in here, Mirror is probably the best item you could find in here. That immediately gets you your lamp, that immediately gets you Desert Palace access, even though Desert may or may not even be required. But that would also open up Swamp Palace.
Yeah, I was going to say Swamp plus a couple of overworld checks as well, the Graveyard Ledge and the K45. It definitely opens a lot more locations to check versus finding something that's convenient like the flip.
And chat making a point that it is possible if he finds the mirror, it might push him to do the Smith Chain. That will get him his Ice Rod from Jeremiah's chest and potentially the bow from the Hammer Pegs.
Looks like Hydra may be about to join Ace because he's making his way down to Lower Norfair.
Hydra debating what he wants to do. Does he want to face GT, knowing the space jump item might be progression, or does he just dive right side? Looks like he's diving right side. Alright, so there are 2 chests that are fire source locked on the left side of Mire. Can't get to those. We have 1 item, the super missiles. And Zero's just going to take a death. Both items. What was the first item? I missed. Power bombs? Okay. So we got both items out of.
We're going to see what the mouse has for us.
Oh, Hydra not realizing attack there. That's okay. Oh, and he has regular bombs too.
He also just has normal bombs, yeah.
And it's the 4th reserve tank. All of that for the 4th reserve tank. Okay. Oh.
This is what happens when you play Randomizer for so long. It's just like, I finally have normal bombs. Forgot all.
AceZer0, even
at time we used to running around with deku sticks, and it's like, I started with the sword and never used it since.
Yep. You don't need a Kokiri sword. What are you talking about? Alright, AceZer0 is using the 99% super missile drop rate from these zippers right here to refill his supers. He does have the Lord Norfair farming beam, also known as grapple, where he could refill on the Zebels just before Ridley, but they drop power bombs very rarely, big health, low health, missiles, and supers. So you want to go for the guaranteed drop. So I like what Zero's doing here.
Yeah, Ridley takes 30 straight super missiles to kill. You can obviously supplement that with 6 missiles per super. Because obviously we were talking earlier, supers do double damage and they do 600 to Ridley. So you want to get through all the metal pirates and still have 30 super missiles to save you having to farm.
And super missiles of shame at the power bombs of shame today. Still with the
recover 5.
Yeah, I mean, still with the charge ice waste plasma, you always pick up supers. Until you find plasma beams, supers are almost always worth picking up.
Yeah, I tend to find supers fire faster than charging up the charge beam, but I'm not sure if that's just because my timing's a bit off for it. I think it's like 4 seconds to charge.
It's I forget what the exact count is, but it's a 60 frame cooldown, I believe, per super, and I think it takes at least a full 60 frames just to charge up your charge beam. So firing supers is faster under almost all circumstances. My numbers could be wrong though. Someone please correct me if I.
Yeah, that screw attack also making this a much easier fight, because the only thing that can hit you out of it is Ridley's tail.
Oh, Ridley's doing a nice. Ridley, I think he's. Well, maybe not. I thought Ridley was dead. Should be dead now. And for the first time in a while, we have a high five between our runners.
Yep, Hydra kills off Ridley as Ridley appears on Ace's screen. Oh no, he's sent across.
Oh, and that's the Samaria. Oh, wow. That might actually be one of the worst spots for that to appear, because now, if you want to go back and do Misery Mire, you have to go back through Amphitheater, through all the acid, Green Gate glitch, or go up and around to get to Golden Trezo again, and then just use the portal to kill Vitreous. Oh, wow. What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, you also have to decide whether or not you're going to continue with the Lord Norfair escape, because there's still about 4 items, I think. Maybe 5.
Yes. Yeah, there is still a few items left to check. I mean, you could potentially check those items and then wrap yourself back down if you felt so inclined. But that is a horrible spot for that item, which is 100% required today.
Also puts us on the rare circumstance that Fire Rod may actually be in Turtle Rock, depending on the Kegel here.
That is true. Yeah, not only are there 2 crystals done, we've had full access to Super Metroid for, well, not full access, but like 3/4 access to Super Metroid for the first like 4 minutes, and our players chased the gravity suit and the morph ball so hard and got almost nothing out of it. Most of our progression has been Links to the Past. And chat pointing out Ace is probably thinking he wish he killed Ridley first instead of diving Meyer. But he knows he only has to go back in to kill Vitreous. He doesn't have to item hunt. Okay, Ace is taking the safety save. I think he's going to go back to Amphitheater. Oh, actually, no, you know what? He's probably going to scout the items. If he finds nothing, he's going to reset, go back through Amphitheater, and then go back to Misery Mire. And that looks like it's going to be the place so far.
There's been nothing of interest coming through Hydra's screen, and Hydra's only got that last missile to check at the 3 Musketeers.
Yep. If this is a...
It's plasma!
Oh, it's plasma! Oh!
Do you keep it, do you not?
Oh.
I'm guessing Ace might have to do a return trick.
I think Ace is... I think Ace keeps that. I think he's going to keep it, and he is going to hate himself for it because he has to go all the way back around. Now, just to get back to Meyer. Wow, that... And I was just going to point out that if that had been any kind of progression or required item, you'd have to go all the way back through, and you can't reset. Oh, this is... What is this seed today?
It's not nice. It is a whole load of, here's a lot of items that are useful, but definitely not what you needed at the right time. And
Zero is going to make the play. He's going to go back to Misery Mire. He's going to get that crystal out of the way. But now there is still something to think about.
He's turned around.
Oh, yes. There is one other thing that would have to make him lava dive again if he finds the mirror. But Super Metroid is almost completely clear.
Yeah, we've got Croc, and I don't know if anyone checked the plasma beam location after killing Dragon, because it just really doesn't feel convenient.
That only because the way to... Oh, I take that back. That would be in logic. With flippers, you have backdoor access to Dragon. So yeah, plasma beam would be in logic. And Hydropower showing us his breakdance abilities.
It's the infinite joy that comes with Crocomire and the charged plasma beam. It's such a dirty kill, but it feels Zero to do.
Zero is going to join Hydropower and bet on Croc. Get your Croc Z chats in, or get your Croc Z emotes in chat. with Charge, Ice Phase, Plasma, you don't have to worry about picking up any more ammo for the rest of the game. Hydra might be thinking Zeb Skip possibilities, and maybe he doesn't know how to do Zeb Skip. So he might be thinking pick up ammo for that. Or maybe it's just muscle memory, I'm not sure. Alright, we're coming up on Indiana Jones, and we are going to be able to count on one hand how many required items have been in Super Metroid this seed. Burna. Well, not required, but certainly helpful for Laser Bridge if you don't have Mirror Shield or if you don't know the dash strats.
I think it would have been more of a troll if we came here first. So yeah, I think the only way this seed is going to pull a fast one on is as if there's something lurking away in the waterway, hiding behind that speed booster, because it's the only thing we haven't really seen.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen AceZer0 did Snail Clip through Aqueduct. We've seen Shack Tool. We've seen both Sand Pits. We have not seen Plasma Beam yet. And we have not seen Waterway yet, as you just mentioned. I think those are the only two locations left in Super Metroid we have not seen. Alright, Hydra, where are you? He's heading... Oh, looks like it's going to be the Ice Palace play.
Yeah, I mean, we can full clear it. Don't have to worry about any weird shenanigans, because we do have the red cane to bypass. It's not particularly a bad play. I mean, there's only three items in here.
Yes, 3 items. Now, let's see here. We're effectively 1 item away from go mode. Actually, no, 2. We need 1 more sword, and we need Fire Rod. We don't know either one of them are yet.
We need the mirror as well to get into Swamp.
Swamp Palace, yeah. Oh, Ace, I think chat. I think he heard you guys. Well, he's doing hobo. He hasn't done hobo yet. Oh, and we got a big key. Oh, that would be disgusting. All right, so here's a thought process for you and for chat. Our 5-6 crystals are Eastern Palace and Turtle Rock. There is 1 item that could be in Pyramid Fairy that would absolutely be required. And that is Mirror. We could have a required Turtle Rock dip to potentially get our Mirror. And Hydropower is attempting to set up his Icebreaker. No problem. AceZer0 realizing he does not have enough magic.
The icebreaker is so inconvenient because I finally learned the Ice Palace bomb jump to get it consistent, and now that just makes it completely redundant.
We don't have a book, so Pat has not been. Let's see here. Do we have logical access to Turtle Rock? I believe we do. However, obviously we can't full clear because Lamp is locking the Trinex. So we need either flute or book.
Yeah, we can get in the front door, but that fire rod, and we would need to rely on key placement within Turtle Rock to get past the front door, or the first floor.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so we're not quite that close to go mode. My apologies, but
I mean, it's definitely a play. I have seen odd circumstances where something like the mirror or flute is in that first chest on the left of Turtle Rock.
and AceZer0 is also going to make the play for ice. Let's see, I believe that's the first item, just a missile. I didn't see what was up top with the other two chests, the map chest or the one with the spikes and the jellyfish. Yes, it is also possible we have Master Sword Pedestal required seed. And given our pendants, it's very possible. Oh, hey, it's
Speaking of
second
Master
item.
Sword.
We have a Master Sword! AceZer0 doing this new break through the staircase. I don't know the consistent setup for that, but obviously he's making it look very easy. AceZer0 was a little less than thrilled to find that sword there.
Yeah, controlling these boss without the fire rod just a little bit more difficult.
Hydrapower aware of his health and abusing the ice puffs so they don't spawn if you're on top of the screen. And cold stare down. Third item is a missile. So 2 missiles and a sword in Ice Palace. And at the 2-hour mark, we finally have our third crystal of the day.
I hope you were hoping for a long race.
I think Hydra just wanted a hug from the...
It's been a particularly bad seed. It's not surprising he needs a hug.
Okay, Hydra is going to do his pyramid catfish checks. He's going to find 300 rupees, and I think catfish was it bombs or a piece of heart? No, it was a piece of heart.
Yeah, but it's not the progression he's looking for, I'm afraid.
Oh, I did not see how not have. Now he can use Kiki to open up pod. Or did he already do that?
I think Hydra was already in pod.
Okay. That's probably potion safety for later. Alright. Chad has pointed this out a couple times, but AceZer0 still has that green pennant in hand, has not turned it in yet.
It's definitely one of these things. If you're going to take the time to go out your way and get the green pendant, you might want to turn it in just to make sure that it's not something important.
Right. It could very well be, which would lead him to the final item in the basement, which could be the mirror, for example.
Could be the mirror, could be worse if it was a fire rod, because then it kind of proves that that was your light source.
Hydrapower looks like he's going to go for the Dragon play.
It's like if you hand in the
You'll
green
have
pendant and you get the fire rods, do you go back to Tower of Terror and hoping that it's the mirror that's on the basement?
The way the seed has been played out, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the actual chain. Oh no. So other than the silver arrows in Tower of Hera, the green pendant was useless. Hasrilla, I want my money back.
Yep, just a small finder's fee. Although in saying that, if we get stuck on Master Sword for the rest of the seed, those silvers are going to come in handy.
Yes. He'll be very happy he has that. Well, Hydra opted not to do the GT missile, so you won't be able to microwave Dragon, but it'll still be a very quick kill. I'll tell you one thing, the interview for these two, this should be interesting. I'm curious to see and know what the level of frustration they're feeling with this seed playing out so far.
At what point did you give up hope? Seriously, we are getting to that stage where we are running out of checks as to where these items could be.
Considering the dungeon available, and at this point there's really only one dungeon available, the next play has to be Turtle Rock.
Yeah, because we saw Misery Marsh. We saw Battles of Darkness, and we're seeing that again on AceZero's side. We can't get into the back of Skull Woods. and we can't even get in the swamp at all. And it's the same with
Right.
desert, so we are locked off from a lot of things.
Now, Hydrapower might use his bow and darkroom knowledge to kill Helmstar anyway. That might be an item. It will obviously be out of logic. But it seems like Turtle Rock, even if it's a logical double dip of Turtle Rock, it seems like that is the play. That's our progression. Well, we know where Lamp is. That's on Desert Ledge. That requires Flute and Lamp, or no, Lamp requires either the book, the flute, and the mirror. One of those
Or
two
just
sets.
the mirror,
Or just the mirror.
because we can get there through the lower morpher check.
Yep.
So, like, the seed is starting to become just like breadcrumbs, but it's like they're the furthest placed breadcrumbs you could find. It's like having to go to the front of Turtle Rock to go to, depending on whatever that is, to go all the way through Lower Norfair potentially to get to the Desert Ledge.
Oh, no, Hydro is a little too late in placing that power bomb, so he's got to re-enter the...
We already know from Ace checking this earlier that Shacktail doesn't lead anywhere.
And we also know that AceZero's maze navigation is going to lead to nothing substantial. And unfortunately, because he has not been to Hammer Pegs, he does not have bow, he cannot finish this dungeon.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He's not got his bow yet from those hammer pegs.
Lumberjack was, want to say, a
Just
bomb
20
capacity?
bucks.
Oh, it was 20 bucks? Okay. It was insignificant. So Aga is completely dead. Aga's been dead for, I want to say a good 45 minutes to an hour. We found Hammer in Hype Cave, and that was the nail in the final nail in the coffin. Alright, AceZer0 is going to turn in his magic bat. Now, he looks like he's done it. Hopefully this sets him on the... He'll be validated. Hopefully this puts him on the path to do Hammer Pegs and Jeremiah's chest. He will like those two items.
Yeah, possibly be annoyed that he missed the bow so early on. But we'll be definitely happy to find that ice rod and knowing that he doesn't have to search the entire game for it.
And Chad is pointing out, Master Sword Pedestal is not dead yet. And without book, we can't check it, but it is very possible that book itself could be on the Master Sword Pedestal, which could lead to the Ether Tablet having mirror. Or it could be that mirror is on the pedestal and your book is in Turtle Rock.
But yeah, we just need that fire rod and then just some way to get into desert.
Alright, AceZer0 is heading in. Okay, it looks like he's gonna do Smith Chain first. Oh, he's gonna get the Smith and then do Hammer Pegs and then save and quit. Okay, that's a good plan. And
Speaking
there's the
of
mirror. Mirror on Plasma.
That's been open for a very long time. Because we killed
That has
Dragon
been
with
open.
Ace a long time ago.
Yep. And now, and there's the bow for Ace. Now we finally have access to Desert Ledge. We can get that mirror, or that lamp. Unfortunately, we have to go all the way back to Lower Norfair to do it.
Yeah, the alternative is you decide, yep, let's just go to Swamp Palace and hope we find something in there.
Or worse yet, go to Turtle Rock and find nothing in there. I could see both. I could see either one of those two scenarios happen. Yeah, if Fire Rod is on Waterway, I mean, if let's say you go all the way to Mimic Cave and you find your speed booster, which takes you all the way back to Waterway to get that Fire Rod, so you have to do a massive, very long double dip of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, again, these breadcrumbs being in just the furthest and most inconvenient places you can think of. On the bright side, though, we get to add on important items found in Super Metroid column.
True. Let's see here. Ether was in. It was in Lower Norfair, was? Oh, it was in Pod. Yeah, it was in Pod. Okay.
Yeah, it was on the right hand side. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like Hydra is going to chase that mirror and go into. Let's see if he does the K45 check first. If he just does Swamp. Oh, looks like it's going to be Swamp.
Yeah, it looks like Ace is now going to be following that bow after picking up the ice rod.
Well, he's going to do Easter, and he's going to finish off Armos Knights, go back to Pod, finish that up. Which will get him his Ether Medallion. And if he wanted to, Helmasaur.
We are down to just that one item away from go mode, being that fire rod.
And it is entirely possible that Fire Rod is in that Desert Palace. The players now have access to, but are refusing to go to because they don't want to dive Lower Norfair again. And based on that, I don't blame them. But knowing where a fire source is, I would say get that out of the way, deal with whatever happens afterwards. That's my personal opinion, though. That could be the wrong play.
Could be just a case of putting off the lamp because you know for certain that the fire rod has to be somewhere.
Right. Oh, and there's that book in Swamp.
The wild goose chase continues.
We now have access to Ether ether tablets, Bombo's tablet, the Master Sword pedestal.
And an even bigger hint that says, please go to to desert.
Yep. I mean, if that doesn't send Hydra over to desert now, then I don't know what will.
I mean, surely you would at least check the Bottomless Medallion after coming out of the swamp, because it's right there.
Right. Right. Hydra did not want to show off the tech diver down. Maybe he's not comfortable with it. Maybe he doesn't know it. Oh, and then there's more fetch quests. A shovel. Oh, no.
That's definitely not what you want to see at this point in time. Nope. You want to see proper item. And there's a bottle just to make it even better. Finish it off.
Well, AceZer0 has already dove into a Misery Mire through the Lower Norfair portal. We know there's no good items in there. It's just a crystal. It'll have to be done eventually by Hydropower. We just don't know if he's ever going to get the flute or if he has to go back down to Lower Norfair anyway. There is one potential for very disgusting Turtle Rock logic left in play. The key layout is set up in such a way that you can get all the way to Laser Bridge, but you'd have to go to Laser Bridge to get your Fire Rod. Oh, actually, no, that wouldn't work because you would already need the big key by then. Okay, so there isn't really anything disgusting left in Turtle Rock other than Fire Rod being somewhere.
Yeah, I think worst case scenario was what we said earlier in chat, which is Speed Booster and Turtle Rock locks away Fire Rod in the waterway.
Yep. Alright, chat pointing out there is one item left and left side of swamp. Do we see Hydra go back for it or not? I think you have to.
At this point, yeah, you don't have the checks to risk saying, chances are I'll find out later on. It's like, no, you're running out of checks.
Super Metroid is 99% cleared. The only item we have not seen is Waterway. We've had a lot of Super Metroid open for a very long time. And you can count on one hand how many progression items have been in Super Metroid. That's how barren it has been. Mirror was the most recent item found. That was on platform. Oh, actually, yeah. That our tracker, Sandra, is pointing out that the sword that we found at the Brinstar Reserve is still out of logic because we do not have Speed Booster. So right now they are logically on Fighter Sword. This is a logical swordless steed up to not that long ago when they found a sword in Ice Palace.
What is this seed trying to pull? Don't you know there's a tournament going on and you know you have to play fast and get a good time?
Yeah, it's hard to say. And yet, silver arrows were in... Hydropower has not been up that way yet. Green pendant turned in was just a red roop.
Speed Booster.
Wow. Swamp Palace had some goods today.
We've got Book, Shovel, and Speed Booster. Thank you very much for that, Swamp.
Oh, wow. It all means nothing if Fire Rod is right here on Bombos. Just a missile. And I can't help but notice that I think he's making the Turtle Rock play. He is going up Death Mountain.
Either he's deciding to return to... Actually, no, Ace did Tower Power. Actually never did Tower... Hydro never did Tower Power. So yeah, Ace must be going to Turtle Rock.
Oh, this could be... I mean, this could still be good for Zero, but it could be really, really bad.
Yeah, just knowing for certainty that it's locked by Fire Rod just gives you one less place to worry about.
And we see a Tempered Sword on K45. Oh no! This is really bad for Zero. That is the Fire Rod. It takes... Hydropower has reached go mode at 224. Oh no. Oh.
Ah, that's painful. That's painful to watch.
Oh, and it's just bombs. So we are guaranteed Fire Rod in Turtle Rock. Oh, that is such a feels bad. And with Mirror and no Flute, the only way to get to Misery Mire is through the lower Norfair Lava Dive. And I suspect that's where Hydro is going right now.
Yep, it is the hardest dungeon to get to out of the ones he has left to do, so it makes sense to get back there as quickly as possible. He knows we're not going to find the flute anytime soon, so we may as well just make that trek just now.
It is possible that Flute is on Pyramid Fairy or Desert. Nobody has been in Desert yet, and in fact, we've only had access to Desert for a couple minutes. Actually, no, I take that back. We've had access to Desert for about 15 minutes because we found Mirror, but neither player has done the lower Norfair dive to get up to Desert to get the lamp. And at this point, we're not going to see lamp picked up by either player. Or at least, seriously.
It just depends on how confident you feel with the dark rooms, particularly with Misery Mire, because I think those ones are the worst ones to try and learn and try and do in a race set.
Yep, Lamp is on Desert Lead, and if Ace was going to go to Plasma Beam, he's taking the long way around. But it looks like he's... Okay, he's heading the right way now. He's heading the faster way. Well, Hydra wouldn't necessarily need Lamp if he felt comfortable with the Dark Room, but if he doesn't feel comfortable with the Dark Room, then this would be the perfect time to pick it up.
I think as well as it being so close to Mire, I don't think most runners would imagine it to be that much of an inconvenience to just pick it up. I mean, it is right there.
Oh, microwave complete on Hydra's side. And he's going to set up for microwave. The slow death. All right, Ace is now going to get his mirror. And at this point, Ace has to feel like he's being...
Yeah, especially with how early on Ace did Dragon, so that mirror's been open to him for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember when, but over an hour ago when he killed Dragon. We've had access to Meridia for quite a long time. And there is the lamp for Hydra. Looks like he's gonna skip death. And I don't blame him. He's in go mode. He doesn't really need anything else. Extremely unlikely he dives Hera, so he won't pick up silver arrows. Did we lose Hydra's?
It's definitely stopped on our side. Probably just a little bit of latency on the network, considering the situation with everyone being at home and being on the internet.
Oh, there we go.
Ace
Power
looks
Bomb's
to be
right
on
there.
his way to Swamp.
This is good for him. Because that'll get him his his fire rod, his shovel. If he chases shovel, I'm hoping he does. That'll also get him his book and his speed booster, although speed booster won't necessarily be required. It's very helpful though.
Hydra picking the right chest probably saves himself having to go through the cutscene chest.
Gonna take a nice shortcut to the second boss door. I want to say Misery Mire is the only dungeon in the game that has two big key doors.
You've got me questioning that one. I'm trying to visualize all the dungeons and all the doors.
Well, Skullwoods doesn't have any. Swamp Palace doesn't have any. Does Turtle Rock have two?
I know it has one, which is the one that's just north of the big chest, but I can't think of there being a second one. Unless the boss door is like locked.
Tranex's room? Block back entry. Okay then. Oh, with AceZer0 diving Argus right away, he may not actually get that speed booster on the left side of Swamp. He's actually going to set up for Diver down.
Yeah, but he may also realise at this point that there's still an item missing, and do you risk leaving it behind at this point?
Right.
I mean, the important thing is that you
We know all he...
shovel.
Yep. We know that all he has to do is chase Shovel, and then he'll be in go mode. But he obviously doesn't know that, so he may come back in, and then he'll get a speed booster. It'll be a nice convenience item, but it's not required at this point.
Yeah, the fastest thing for him to do at this point is go get shovel, or go turn on the shovel for your fire rod. Potentially pick up the tempered in K45 because it's right there, because that'll help speed up the Ganon fight and just general movement through Ganon's.
Actually, if he picked up the tempered sword,
silver arrows make up the difference as well on the boss.
I was just gonna say, with the tempered and silver, he may actually make up a little bit of time here on Hydropower. Although Hydropower is a pretty big gap, so I don't know how that gap might get wider. It just depends. It really depends on Zero's next play.
As well as this point that Hydra is going for Palace of Darkness, whereas Ace is already cleared off King Helmasaur and got that crystal.
Oh, Hydropower has his big key. He is charging Helmasaur. He doesn't check anything in this dungeon.
Already cleared everything on a previous visit.
Hydropower making quick work. That was very impressive. Alright, Ace, you have your speed booster. What do you do now? Chase the shovel. Chase the shovel. Chase the shovel.
Yeah, likely check the Bombos tablet while he's here, and then hopefully take 45 and the shovel become the next logical checks.
If he does, he will be in go mode. That'll put him about 6 minutes behind, I think.
Yeah, we'll put him as a Mire behind, and we do know, unfortunately, that the only access to that is through the lower Norfair.
This is true.
Oh, that's not a good sign, Ace.
Oh, uh-oh. Well, he's gonna get his lamp. Does he check anything in desert? Oh, If he decides to clear this, that might be GG. Maybe he'll get lucky and he'll get... That will really save him a lot of time if he gets float.
Yeah, I don't even think Butter Shard would be enough enough of an advantage on its own to make up the difference at that point.
Right. Hydropower's on his last crystal, that's Turtle Rock. Ace has 2 crystals left, one of them is Turtle Rock, but the other one is Misery Mire. Just has to kill Vitreous, though. What item? It's a super... It's the Quake Medallion, oh no! Oh...
That you just scream that there's no reason to continue on in Desert. You've got both your items and they were worthless.
I think he's going for the lamp. It's the only reason why I think he's coming back in here. Would he pull Master Sword Pedestal? That is the... Come on, do shovel. Okay, he's going back in the portal. This will take him to 45. That's the way he's going. I hope he is.
Which is fine because he'll get his temper shot. So it's not too bad to go check here 45. It makes sense.
Okay. So the desert play didn't cost him too much time, but... I
think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to execution, and perhaps Mold Arm 2 might not play very nice on Hydropower side.
Okay, we are going to have a go mode for Ace at just under 2. I see some button presses there, possibly out of frustration on his input viewer.
Just hurry up and load, hurry up and load. Get a frame perfect load. That'll save me some time. I can't complain, I do that all the time. I just hammer the buttons while I'm waiting.
Alright, he is making the play that he has to make. He's going to go back down Lower Norfair, he's going to dive Mire, kill Vitreous, and then up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, so it may potentially just be a Turtle Rock of a difference. Could even come down to some gambles and Ganon's Tower, just where could this big key be?
If everyone likes what they see, do stay tuned. Coming up immediately after this race, assuming we don't run too long or too short, we have another tournament match coming up. This one between Dorkmaster Fleck and Lack Attack. I don't quite remember who is commentating that one. Looks like it's going to be... Oh, Jagger G. Jagger G and MST. Metroid MST. That'll be starting in just over an hour. And SpeedGaming is generally pretty... let me see here what we got coming up. We got some Pac-Man World 2 coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern. We got a few Super Metroid multi-category races. Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. We got some Mario Kart, Link to the Past Season 2. league match. You got a Mario 3 randomizer league, match later tonight. A lot of action.
There's more than enough randomizer needs to meet everyone. There is a lot of matches booked in for tomorrow, all at the same time too. I don't even think we have enough channels for that.
Let's take a look. Oh my. You weren't kidding. You weren't kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 matches all starting at the same time. With 7 more scheduled around that time. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. And yes, there's also Corona relief done quick going on. Worthwhile cause. Hydropower having no issues with Trinex so far. I'm not sure what Ace was trying to do with that Samaria block there.
He's going to trick shot, throw it from above and have it land on the switch before he gets down the stairs.
Oh, was he setting up? He must be setting up a glitch.
He may be doing the fire trick. Spooky Mire or something that people call it.
Possibly. I don't know if he didn't set it up properly or if the Snowflos was... But now that is all 7 crystals for Hydropower. Get your guesses in. There are 22 locations where Ganon's Tower Big Key can be.
So where do you think it's going to be? Bearing in mind the seed that we've just watched.
With this trash seed we have going on today, I'm going to say Ganon's Tower is going to be a little bit nicer. I'm going to say number 5. 5th chest.
I'm going to say it's on Waterway just because it's not even key sanity, but it's probably going to be there. He's finishing up Mire just as Hydra enters Ganon's Tower.
Hydra is not going to follow through full right. That's 3 so far. My 5 prediction. Oh no!
Oh, we missed 6.
There's 7. It's obviously not the big key because he's so. There's 8, the red root. Nothing yet. Going to randomizer room now. Named specifically because you only go to this room if you're playing a randomizer. That's 13 down.
Still no big key. It's not looking too promising for going full left.
Oh, just stepped on the teleportation. Yeah, at this point, for Ace to make up some, he needs the big key to be on the right side, and he has to gamble on the right side. Oh, that's 16. Its definition is it tile room or is it all the way to the right?
This could be all the time that Ace needs though to hopefully catch up.
Tile room is probably the worst location it could. Oh, he's not. Oh, Hydra, you know it's right side. It could very well be in that room you just went by. Oh, this could come back to hurt him a little bit.
So long.
It does. There's 19, 20, 21. It's 22. No, it's 21. Sorry. It's 21. It's not tile room. Tile room chest was abandoned. So who guessed 21? Oh, Sierra guessed 22. Unfortunately. Oh, wait, no. Juan's guessed 21, but I think we were well into the tower at that point.
Ace is just about to enter the Trinex fight. Yeah, I think if Ace goes right first and goes full way, this will be a lot closer of a race than we think it will be. Despite the what seemed to be huge advantage that Hydra had.
I think just based on the links that the Packers have displayed, I think he checks the first two chests and then goes left. I don't think he does full right. It'd be nice if he did, but I have this feeling. They've both followed the Link to the Past meta pretty similarly this race. There is a key on that right side. Let's see what he does. He's going to do
He's
it.
going
Ace
right.
This is the correct play. He is going to make up a nice chunk of time here. Hopefully it's enough.
It'll come down to execution at that point, and maybe those silvers will actually play quite a major part in this.
Alright, unfortunately, he had a little bit of an issue lighting the second torch, so he waited for the first one to go out.
Yeah, I can safely say I banged my face off that door far too many times to count.
And he does have a key. If he's going to get a second key, he will be perfectly fine for keys. Even if he had the one.
Butter shard. Still checking those chests.
That was in the mini Helmsar chest?
Yeah, the right hand side one.
Okay. That... Oof. That's a find. He might not actually just be looking for half magic, but that is definitely a find.
Looking for half magic, looking for those silvers potentially.
Oh yeah, that we know they're in Hera. And the validation 300 ruby chest. Butter will greatly speed up phases 1 and 2 for Ganon, but he'll still have to do spins to defeat the pit. What is that lineup? That is reverse Triforce there, Aga.
Hydra takes down Aghanim 2, and Ace is coming up on land malls too, so finish the gauntlet. Making his way majority up Ganon's tower.
Making quick work of those Lamos with those silver arrows. You're getting the lamp ready, a little phase 2, but that's okay. Well, Ace's execution in the tower has been pretty good, other than the one issue trying to light the torches on the right side. But he's had some really good execution in the tower so far. Oh, Ace did not check the chest. He is not going to get his butter sword. That shouldn't make too much of a difference. Both players have charge, Ice Wave, Spacer, and Plasma.
The full beam combo is available, so look to see a lot of charge shots and probably stand-up glitch when it comes to Mother Brain.
And yes, chat pointing out you can't phase 1 and 2 with tempered. However, it is a little bit of a setup. Ganon's position does have to be a little bit nice, otherwise you do have to have some good backup strats to make sure you can get some double hits on those spins. And get your single G in for Hydro Power. Defeats Ganon at 258. And just as Hydro Power saves, Ace is gonna get to the pyramid and take on the pig. So this is Ace has made up a ton of time in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, this is going to come down to just execution through Turian. Maybe a Zebedite skip just doesn't play well for one of our runners.
Zebedite skip, baby skip. I mean, there is still some time to be made. Ace obviously did find his arrows in Tower. Oh, did not get Torch Glitch though. It shouldn't matter too much. He's got enough magic to take Ganon. Get your single G's in chat for Ace. And this is coming down. This is coming down to the wire. Alright, Hydro Power is through his 4 Metroid. We have a baby skip.
Yeah, we do have both our runners with high jump boots, so it makes sense to go for it.
Yep, as long as they know it. Hydra setting up for it. Oh. We got baited. Hydra does not know the setup.
Make sure your face right.
Hydra. Yo, that's going to lose a little bit of time. So Hydra kept both suits on. Alright. So we'll see what AceZer0 does. It's not keeping an eye on my timestamps. Alright, coming up on Baby Skip for Oh, Hydro Power does... Okay. So that's the point I was making earlier. If Hydro Power didn't know Zeb Skip and he picked up all those missiles for that, so he is just doing the Zeb type skip. It's killing the Zebs.
Yep, just
Using
skipping
all
down
those
the zip, so he's got just kill.
Okay. Ace is setting up for just getting grabbed. It looks like. Oh, he tried to do baby skip. Facing right. And Hydra using supers. With charge Ifoi's plasma, it is 20 charge shots. It is 60 supers with super missiles. Now switching to he's probably waiting for Mother Brain to do catch up, which he's doing now, and then switching back to supers. Interesting. That's one way to do it.
Yep, you do whatever you're comfortable with. And Ace gets the zero tight skip.
Yep. Nicely done. That saved a good 30 seconds right there from Ace. Comeback is on. Alright. 305 even for Baby on Hydropower side.
Yeah, I wonder how close this is going to be if Ace manages to do stand-up glitch.
If Ace is able to do stand-up, that might just make, that might just swing this race in the other direction. It is still going to be close. Just tanking the catch-up. AceZer0 is just setting up for stand-up. Ace did not take out Varia's suit. Oh, okay, so he did the other way to do stand-up glitch. Okay, so Ace has stand-up. Yeah, 306.17 for phase 3 start on Hydra's side. Just over a minute, like a minute 10 on AceZer0's baby grab. Oh, this is going to be close. Ace can make up some time with the phase 3 kill. Will it be enough? We have 306.58 timer. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. This has still been an excellent race. These runners are within a minute and a half of each other. This has been a fantastic race. Please give these runners a follow. They have put on a great race for us today.
Yeah, it's not been the nicest of seeds as well for both these guys.
Yeah, this is true. This has been an absolute garbage seed. And 307.39 Mother Brain kill for 8. I mean, knowing the time, knowing that nobody has finished yet, I don't think either runner is going to go for the animals.
I think at this point you're concerned that you're either just a little bit ahead or you're just a little bit behind. So it's like, yeah, you're not going to risk the animals either way.
And Hydropower looks like he will finish first, and GG's to him. Getting the ship, make it official. And that is GG for Hydropower, finishing an official SRL time of 3 hours, 8 minutes, 30 seconds. GG to Hydra.
Yep, GG Hydra.
And then Ace coming up right behind. We're going to see if we can get both these guys in here for. Ace also not going to save the end. And we are joined now by Hydra and also GG to AceZer0, now finishing official SRL time of 3 hours, 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Well done. Get your GGs in chat. These two have put on an excellent show, and both of us are now joined in the channel. Guys, you did fantastic. GG.
Thank you very much, friends. Appreciate it.
Yeah, GG Hydrapower. That was
GG
great
Ace.
race.
Yeah, definitely. Ace and I have clashed many times in Link to the Past over the last several months through daily races and the ladder we have over there now. So yeah, it feels good to play against him in 2 games now.
So my first question to both of you, and who answers first doesn't matter. What do you think of this seed? I think I know the answer to this, but what do you guys think?
Honestly, I liked it. I thought it was good. I think it was, I think it was pretty good for the way I wanted it to turn out, like the kind of seed that I wanted to have a good shot against Hydropower, because I know like Hydropower already mentioned, we're really close in Link to the Past, like we've raced a lot of times and I've come up ahead and he's come up ahead, so that's kind of just no strength there. But I feel like I think that I have a little bit of an execution advantage in SM, so being able to, like, not necessarily forced to do any hard tricks, but being able just to clear more efficiently by using some of those, without having to slow me down too long, I think that's good for me.
I mean, lots of people have an execution advantage over me in Super Metroid. I'm really not very good at Super Metroid at all. I really only play the combo like once or twice a week, because that's really all the time I can afford to do. So, but I have played it since like last summer. So there's been lots of learning, and I find I learn things all the time. So, but I find it really very much more difficult overall of a game to learn. And that being said, I just try to be efficient and play within the limitations that I have at this point in time. And I think I did okay with that. There was a lot of interesting things happening. So neither of us found the flute. So I'm going to guess it's in Ganon's tower somewhere, maybe the tile room or something stupid. So I guess you had. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, big chest was not checked, tile room was not checked, and that's it for Ganon's tower. Ether tablet was not checked, and that was about it. And then there was a waterway.
Well.
Oh yeah,
right. Okay, so yeah, so I get speed at like what 2.5 hours, and I'm like, I said some words, so they were words kind of like, oh geez, oh shucks, oh gosh, because late speed is really bad, actually. But yeah, so if the flute is somewhere like in Ganon's tower, I'm thinking, okay, so logically you had to do the lava dive to go get the lamp, so that you could go back to Dark Cross to get the medallion that you could then go all the way back to the lava dive again, so that you can go into Misery Mine. So
yeah, that logic chain was absolutely horrible, and we were actually speculating of a couple of really bad logic chains. We were thinking, well, chat brought this up, that mirror was gonna be like somewhere on Laser Bridge, which would get you all the way to your lamp, which would potentially do something else to get you your Master Sword pedestal, which is where the fire rod would be. Thankfully, that was not the case.
Yeah, thankfully not. No. But yeah, so I guess I found a bunch of stuff right away. So I found the speed booster, and then I found fire rod, and I'm like, okay, there's a 2/3 chance I'm in go mode, and you have to check at that point. You know, you just have to. And thankfully that worked out, but it did feel pretty bad. So here's stuff I don't know. Can you microwave the golden chorizo? Because I tried, and I think I failed.
Yes and no. If you get him in the position correctly, you just shoot up straight with charge ice wave plasma. You'll hit him twice. You'll get a double hit. So that's 1,800 damage per hit with one shot potentially. So you can kill him in 9 shots. It's a really quick kill.
Yeah, I tried to get him in the right position. I screwed that up, so then he was over on the left side. But I tried the microwave ones with the X-ray, and it didn't seem to do anything. So I was like, I don't know if this works or not. Never mind. But yeah. So thankfully, I had the right medallion, and thankfully I had broken that lamp logic there, because I do know how to do that at least. So.
Yeah, I wish I had done that. I thought about leaving that lamp because so when I got my mirror, I knew the lamp was there, and I got the book also in Swamp, so I was thinking I'll go check the Bombos tablet on the way to go into Desert and get my lamp, so I for sure have a fire source. But I was like kind of a coin flip of whether or not I should go to like the shovel and K45 first. I really wish I would have done that because that would have saved me a bunch of time getting that lamp. But really interesting how that worked out.
Ace, I was reading through the SRL chat, and you mentioned you were contemplating doing your pseudo screw strats on the plasma pirates in Plasma Room to potentially, which would have been your mirror, but damage was an issue. I don't recall how much energy did you have at that point.
I think I had like 4 or 5 E-tanks, but I know I had taken a lot of damage. Like when I went into Botwoon, I had like 1 E-tank. I took way too much damage. And then I looped back around after Dragon and still was kind of low. So I think I had like 2 of my 5 filled or something along those lines. So it wasn't enough
if it was 2, you would. Yeah.
I could have obviously farmed up, but I thought at that point, like, it's not in logic anyway. It's an out of the way check. I actually, that whole sequence got me really turned around because I thought about doing that and I backed out and just went into Link to the Past. Can someone remind me where the Moon Pearl was? Because I didn't know I had it.
Moon Pearl was at the it was at the beach next to Watering Hole in Meridia.
Oh, that's right. Okay, because when I went through the Meridia portal back into Link to the Past, I was fully committed to just doing a map check and then saving and quitting. I hadn't been to Front of Escape yet or Eastern Sahasrara, so I was just gonna, mark my pendants and crystals and do those checks. But I had Moon Pearl, and I was kind of like surprised and ended up, not routing the best. I should have taken the Whirlpool up by like Catfish. Instead, I tried to be more aggressive and went towards Pod and got. I was gonna get killed by the bomber, but instead I jumped onto land and lost my fake flipper.
Well, I botched the water walk at the beginning. It's Fast Friday. We always water walk to Zora right after Ice Rod Cave, and I botched it because I was too far to the right, and I hit one of the little mini Zoras, whatever they're called, I don't know, and then I was soft locked, and I was like, I never do this. I play Fast Friday every freaking week, and I do this all the time. Why did I do this now? So whatever, it's fine. By the way, Fast Friday is a Link to the Past race where we start with boots, which is fantastic. So I'm glad we found early boots again today. So.
There is one piece of equipment which I'm sure you guys were happy to see initially, but both of you took the bait so hard and it led to literally nothing the whole game. What were your thoughts on Morph Ball and Gravity Suit being almost completely barren? Like it got you nothing. I mean, what did you guys think about that?
I mean, I don't mind having the gravity suit so that I can avoid lots of damage. That makes me feel a lot better. Like, there's a lot of people that do this like low percent or something, or are fine with the power suit, and it'd be like, hey, you got 2 tanks, let's go to the wreck ship, man. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to. So I need like 7. But having that gravity suit is really helpful, just for me in general, as like it's like having red mail in Link to the Past, and which I had there too. So. Yeah, I mean, the fact that it really wasn't anything was whatever, but I'll take it that early. I did kind of wonder, like, okay, so I do the uncle route, and I know a lot of people are like down on the uncle route because they think it's a waste of time, and found gravity there right away. So I was thinking, like, oh, I wonder if Ace did that. Maybe he's like last location in gravity or something, and doing some wacky stuff like other places. And I'm sure he probably just went there right away, right, Ace?
Yeah, I like the uncle route in this since you get the tier 3 triple pretty much free, or tier 2 if
Yep.
you get hit.
Yep.
That's pretty handy.
So there you go.
But as far as the morph and gravity suit early, I feel like I played it correctly as best I could. And again, like, I know I'm not the greatest and I don't really know hydropower skill, but I think that I probably have an execution advantage or more of a maybe comfort advantage. I feel like I don't have issues dying to bosses as much as most people around my skill level. I bonk around a lot and have sloppy movement, but I get things done. So having a safety like that made me think, okay, well, now hydropower is for sure not going to die at Fantoon either. So I can't, do like a low percent fight and get an advantage out of it. So I'll go ahead and put that off. So I put off Wreck Ship for quite a while, and then, of course, it ended up empty. So, oh well.
Yeah, was there anything even in the ship? I can't even remember now at this point.
Wreck
There
Ship
was
had
magic powder, which you couldn't hand in for so long, and then when you finally got there, it was like, yeah, green rupee.
It was one
a
rupee.
green
Yep.
rupee.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably make that play again just because it's an area you have to do, and you have the means to do it and stuff. And I had like space jump, and I didn't have screw attack yet, but I mean I had a bunch of supers and just all this stuff, and so I would probably do it again. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I was really hoping for a little more direction either in Brinstar or like in those first couple checks in the front of Wreck Ship, because I was fully committed to like only doing the half clear to try to save a little time there. I kind of like doing that. I've seen some people do it, and it can pay out because the bowling cutscene all the way to gravity suit, checking those sky missiles, all that takes quite a long time, and it's not too bad to go back and do the top half later. It's you can kind of split it, and that sometimes works.
But if you can get away with it, it's a big time save for sure.
Now, there's one interesting tidbit I'd like to point out to you guys. Both of you guys did your mock ball and got your fighter sword early at Brinstar Reserve. Did you know that is not in logic, and this was logically a 90-minute swordless scene? Your first logical sword was in Ice Palace.
Wait, how do you get it?
No, that's not the case. Your first logical sword would have been K45 then, because you need a sword to get to Ice Palace.
Yeah, I was going to say you can't bombos without a sword. So
you need a sword.
Yay, mock ball. By the way, I learned that like 2 weeks. I learned that like 2 weeks ago. I was telling Ace, you probably saw it in chat. I was on a weekly race here. Like I don't know, it's probably a month and a half ago now, and I didn't mock ball because I didn't know how yet at this point, which just tells you how little I know about this game. And I left behind the Pegasus boots and space jump for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Which, for reference, Aussie was already done with the seed by that point. So I'm like, okay, I think I need to learn this trick, So then I was on it like 3 weeks later, and if you watched the pre-game there, I was mock-balling like for 25 minutes, just like, I'm gonna learn this thing. I'm gonna learn how to do this, and I was up to like a 60% success rate. So I got a first try this time, so I'll take it. But we all start somewhere, don't we?
Yeah, and you did a fantastic job today. I think Zebetite Skip might be the next thing you might want to look into learning. Baby Skip down the road, maybe. But
I mean, I've seen it done. I was gonna say I've seen Baby Skip done a lot, and I sometimes I get one jump out of it, so woohoo! But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many things I can learn, and just so much. So much more practice I can use. But like I said, it's hard to find the time. So I may never be like very good at this game, but it's really fun to participate. Shoutouts to 95 people entering this tournament. So, I mean, you watch the weeklies, you see the same dudes all the time. You think maybe like 10 people play this game. But there's a lot of people that threw their hat in the ring. That's great. I think there's a wide variety of skill levels on display. And it's really going to make for a very interesting tournament. So regardless of how far I make it, I'm super intrigued by what's going to happen.
Yeah, same. I'm definitely looking forward
I
to it.
like that.
Looking forward to the next
Now-
match in our group stage and seeing how that pans out.
All right. Now, Ace, you obviously finished second this race. We saw you diving Turtle Rock at about the same time Hydra had just finished up his swamp. That, he already had a shovel in hand at that point, and we're thinking, okay, this could be really, really bad or really, really good for Ace, depending on what that first chest is, and ended up just being bombs. And then 10 seconds after that, Hydra digs up his fire rod, and he's in go mode at that point. We knew he was in go mode. He didn't know at that point. But at how behind did you feel you were for portions of this race?
I felt so, like we mentioned earlier, like the kind of trolley chain of events that led to like that lamp on the ledge by Meyer never finding the flute anywhere, so having to do basically double dip through like Lower North Fair. I feel like that helped me, made me feel a little bit better.
Okay.
But when I felt really behind when I was missing, when I had like 4 locations left to check. All I had was, what was it, like purple chest, Smith, for like I had like 3 or 4 locations and I was still missing bow and ether medallion that I knew was required, and the fire rod and the mirror. And I was like, I'm 4 items out of go mode at about like 2.5 hours in the seed with almost no checks left. So I'm sure Hydropower found one of these at the other, the thing I missed, and it all rolled together. So I felt really bad until I got all those in a row. Like I got the bow and I was like, that's great. It doesn't give me any logical progression. And I got the ice rod. That's great, but no logical progression. So I felt really bad at the mirror, but
I don't mean to interrupt, but I botched the dark maze really bad because so I caught a fairy before in Eastern, and the reason for that was because I was thinking ahead to Dark Turtles, which can be still be really hard even on red mail because the turtles do 1 heart of damage anyway.
Yeah.
And I was thinking ahead to the dark maze, and how I needed to release the fairy so that I could death warp out of there, and then I forgot. So here I am trying to get back through the dark maze, which, by the way, I never go back through it. I usually always death warp in some way or mirror warp. So here I am trying to find my way back through. And I find one of the Dodongos that I haven't killed yet, and then I realize with half a heart left. Well, first of all, I lost him in the darkness, so I was down to 1 heart. I'm like, well, I'll just bomb myself. And then with a half a heart left, I realized I still have the fairy. So I release the fairy, I place a bomb, and I miss. And then the fairy finds me again. And I'm like, we're just gonna quit out of here. Never mind. So when I was in Gilbert, I still had to run back to pod and do that, and I felt like such a dingus, But it's just one of those silly things. So yeah, shoutouts to botched death warps.
Do not
And
worry
then
about it.
Hydra, I
You see the two. Good try and do death warp, and then it's like, fairy revive. It's like, at least you remembered you had the fairy and tried to get rid of it.
I meant to get rid of it in the big chest, by the big chest there, and I forgot. Then the fairy's like, I'm helping, see? I'm doing my job. Oh my god. That was and I didn't know where I was in the maze either, so I'm like, all right, never mind. But it was so dumb.
And then Hydra, I actually did want to ask you the same question. How far behind did you feel you were at some points during the seed today?
It's hard to say. I felt good for a long time because I had a lot open to me. I had Bryn and Wreck Ship and Meridia and finding all the stuff, and then to find the Moon Pearl, and now I've got Link to the Past open, Dark World and stuff, and I'm finding lots of great items. Like I'm finding the hookshot, there's the mountain, all the mountain. And I find the bow, I'm off to Eastern and Pod in the dark, but that's fine. And so for a long time I felt really good, and then it started to constrict and bottleneck, and I was starting to worry about where things were. And eventually I remembered that I could go into the back of Meridia and kill Dragon, which I think was the last thing I had to do, or the last boss, I mean. And I took the time to go to Plasma Pirates and get the mirror, and then I was off again. So, but for a while there, it was really on the downswing, and I'm thinking, like, I know I left X-ray room, please don't be there. That would be a stupid check. But just stuff like that, and I did do Shaq Tool because I had to take a bathroom break. So, shout outs to Shaq. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, for a while there, it was fine. And then when I was in go mode again, I'm like, or 2/3 go mode, I'm like, I don't know. I think I got a chance. I don't know what Ace is up to. I know he knows more about Super Metroid, which maybe he's off doing out of logic things and, wasting a lot of time. So, I don't know. So I felt really good, and it ended up being a really close race. So that's really cool. I'm glad we could do that for everybody.
Yeah, I definitely did some out-of-logic things and tried to turn it into advantage. Like, I think that the grapple beam I got was out-of-logic when I got it. So I went to Meridia to try to go for Shaq Tool immediately. And the same with, like, the cape. I got the cape. It was the only hell run I did was ice and the missile below ice. And the magic cape was at one of them. So
okay, yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm immediately gonna check bumper ledge. And it was nothing, of course.
And that bumper ledge actually would have been a great payoff for you if it had been something that wasn't a heart. That would have been a fantastic break.
Yeah, and like I said, I felt good because I didn't actually dip any pendants. I don't think I didn't dip Skull or Hera. What was the other one? I forgot now.
Desert. I did all three except for the
Desert. Yeah, yeah.
So
there you
was
go.
no item.
So I felt good about avoiding all that, although I guess they're not very long. But so like I said, yeah, just it felt pretty good overall, and I had just enough momentum, I guess, to see through to the end here.
Yeah, well, I think it's evident you routed a little better than I did, which is what I expected.
I'm laughing at. Well, okay, you know what I did botch though is GT. I don't know if you went full left or if you went right, but I went full left, and that was nothing. So then I started to worry, like, did I just botch that? I don't know, but we'll see.
Is that where you got your butter sword?
No,
butter
that
sword
was
actually mini Helmosaur room upstairs.
Yeah, because I was still looking for the silvers, which I guess were in Hera, and you must have had them already, so you didn't bother. But no, it was upstairs. So.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
I mean, not that it really matters, but yeah, it's free phase 1 and 2. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ace, you actually made up a good 4.5 minutes, give or take, in Gans Tower just by doing full right and committing to that.
Yeah, I feel like my execution was really good in GT as well. I think like I've been doing a lot of all dungeons practice, and I ended up with obviously different mail and hearts, but having Temper Sword and Silver Arrows, which is what I have for that run, like being able to use those in GT, I think I did a really good job with my Gauntlet and Climb, and probably clawed back a little time, but not enough to make up for my routing.
Well, I'd just like to say thank you guys for having me here today and allowing me to be part of this. I appreciate your volunteers, commentary, restream, trackers, everything. It looks like Sandres is on track today, so thank you, buddy. And thanks again, Ace, for the great match. And I'm moving on to cross product, so Monka S, but I know he's a great player. But I mean, this is why we play the games. You never know what's going to happen. So I'm going to reach out to him and find out when he wants to get together, and hopefully we'll see everybody soon. But thanks again, guys, and everybody have a good day.
Thank you, Hydra.
Thanks for
Ace,
Hydra.
you have any final thoughts from you, Ace?
No, just want to echo what Hydrapower said. It was a lot of fun. Glad it was a close race. Looking forward to playing against Amarith and then seeing what happens in the other match as well. See how this group shapes up. But thanks for all your work on comms. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for the tracker. I had fun.